A young woman was having a nightmare, when her terrified scream somehow shattered the wall of a man's home thousands of miles away. The force of it sent him tumbling right out of bed. As he scrambled to his feet, staring in shock at the cracked wall, words began to appear on its surface. Without thinking, he grabbed a piece of chalk and scrawled a single character in response. What happened next was beyond bizarre. The wall actually answered him back. Ron immediately drove to find Kate at her home. But when her father George saw this stranger at the door asking for his daughter, he instantly assumed the worst, that this guy was just trying to hit on Kate. George was about to throw a punch when something strange happened. Instead of defending her father, Kate simply closed her eyes, and suddenly George dropped to his knees, clutching his head and crying out in pain. It turned out both Kate and Ron were special. They possessed extraordinary abilities that allowed them to communicate telepathically across vast distances. They could also sense when others like them were being attacked. But this gift came with a terrible price. They'd become prey for ancient creatures, monsters that had lived for centuries by feeding on human terror. These beings sustained themselves on the fear and suffering of people with these special abilities. George had never believed such people or monsters could exist. When Ron couldn't convince him with words alone, Kate decided to show him. She placed her hand on her father's head, and his expression shifted to pure terror as he witnessed the vision of a young man being killed. The horror of what these monsters could do finally hit home. Determined to protect his daughter, George agreed to team up with Ron. They fled to a remote forest, but the monsters tracked them down, drawn by their psychic connection. In the final scene, Kate sat cross-legged on a wooden table as the creatures slowly approached. She made no attempt to fight back or escape, waiting like a lamb to the slaughter. But was this surrender, or had Kate and Ron set an elaborate trap?